Keir Starmer never saw it coming. Live on television, Nigel Farage tore through Starmer's carefully polished image, calling out what he claimed were hidden truths. From secretly supporting the UK's surrender of the Chagos Islands to quietly backing down in the face of Donald Trump's trade tariffs, Farage didn't hold back. What's more shocking is that Starmer wasn't even in the room, yet he still ended up politically humiliated. So, what exactly did Farage reveal? And why did it leave Starmer scrambling to save face? Let's break down the full story. There was huge concern about these tariffs. Were they avoidable? Well, Trump said he imposed them. He was elected to do that. And of course, he put the UK in the lowest tier. Interestingly, the EU got 20%, while the UK got 10%. By the way, I'm not pretending 10% is good. It's just less bad than it would have been without Brexit. Welcome back to Britain Times. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe with the bell on. Now let's continue with the latest UK news coming up next. Is it all down to you then, Nigel? Because you spotted something most commentators couldn't really see. Do we owe you a thank you for getting us out of the European Union and avoiding these tariffs, years later? Well, I think we should go much further than that. I can tell you this. I sat down face to face with Trump in 2017. He said, "We want to do a deal with you guys. I want to show the world I believe in trade, if it's fair, if it's right, if it's good for both sides." But of course, we didn't do a deal. Why? Because the Conservatives didn't take us out of the European Union. We went through the whole of 2017, 2018, 2019, and on it went. By the time we finally left the EU, frankly, it was all a bit too late. We did, however, do a lot of negotiation. 2/3 of a deal was on the table. And it was really interesting to hear Jonathan Reynolds this morning, because on the one hand, you've got Ursula von der Leyen of the EU saying, "We're going to retaliate," and Jonathan Reynolds saying, "No, we're not going to retaliate. We're going to look for ways not just to erase tariffs, but to move further toward a trade deal." And it's very interesting for a Labour government. This could have been a turning point for Britain, a lifeline in tough economic times. We had a rare opportunity, a face-to-face offer from one of the most pro-UK American presidents in decades. But instead of seizing it, Starmer and his circle didn't just decline, they actively sabotaged it. They chose to realign with the EU, even if it meant giving up the chance for an independent trade path. They preferred the familiar comfort of EU bureaucracy over a tailor-made US trade deal that could have boosted our economy. It wasn't just bad diplomacy, it was a deliberate choice driven by ideology. Starmer and his globalist allies treated following EU rules as a sign of political maturity, while dismissing Trump as too uncivilized to engage with. But here's the thing: that same president put a deal on the table that might have shielded ordinary Brits from the inflation crisis we're now living through. Starmer's response? Delay, deflect, destroy, and then act like it never happened. Now he talks about resetting the UK-US relationship, as if we've all forgotten how he mocked the very man who tried to help. It's no wonder Farage says Starmer is quietly steering us back toward the EU. And it's important that you're here today, because in 2019, Boris Johnson targeted this area, believing there was a strong sentiment to get Brexit done. 6 years later, we hear that Labour is actually considering allowing ECJ oversight of agricultural goods. What message does that really send to what is traditionally Brexit heartland? I mean, Starmer will oversee record numbers of illegal crossings in the Channel. He'll oversee legal migration still running at huge levels, although the net might appear lower because so many people are leaving. Clearly, as far as the EU is concerned, he's creeping back in little by little. But it's bigger than that. I don't see malice in him or anything like that. He's a nice bloke. I just don't think when he speaks, or in the way he performs, it connects with people. Nigel Farage also called out Labour and Starmer for what he saw as clear hypocrisy. It's very interesting for a Labour government led by a Prime Minister who once wanted a second referendum to now actually be behaving a bit more like Brexiteers. This is the official channel of Britain Times. We only share authentic and verified UK news. We do not upload fake news or misinformation. Thank you for trusting Britain Times. Like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for daily updates. Stay connected for reliable UK news and updates.